Hello and welcome back to another episode of Live, Laugh Lily Kincade with your host, your girl Lily Kincade. Happy Monday, y'all. I cannot believe how fast February is flying by. This past week I had my 25th birthday, which is crazy, but it's just like, wow, I feel so lucky and so grateful, and every single day is a blessing from God. No matter what happens, there's going to be highs and lows. There's going to be peaks and valleys, but at the end of the day, we wake up and that is a blessing. We are alive and it's just beautiful. So anyways, today we're actually talking about it is kind of deep. Today we're talking about something that I've just been thinking about a lot. I'm reading my Bible front to back again. I just started doing it starting in Genesis. And so I've been thinking a lot about Genesis, and one of my favorite stories in the Bible is the story of Joseph, and it was actually one of my first musicals. Yes, I did theater as a child. I was a theater girl, believe it or not. Was Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat when I was in elementary school, and I love that musical. I love that story. So I wanted to kind of take what I'm learning from that story, also what I'm learning from this season of my life and mindsets that I'm trying to implement now, and kind of share it with you guys. And today's title, I guess, episode 14, is Delayed, Not Denied, because I don't know about you, but just the reflecting on my birthday and reflecting on things, it can be very difficult sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Of course we all struggle with comparison, okay? But the key is just not to stay stuck there. But it can be really difficult when you feel like you're working towards this dream and you've been putting your time, effort, and energy in it, and you have something special. God told you, you have something, but why isn't it working yet? Why isn't it happening yet? It can feel like you're going crazy, and I want you to know that I feel that way sometimes. Joseph has felt this way. That's what I love about the Bible and just different stories in general, is even with this podcast, it's meant for us to discuss life together, because truly, we oftentimes think that we're the only person going through this situation and no one's going to understand us. But the truth is, no, we are so much more alike than we are different, and we're meant to go through life together and not be alone. And so today I kind of wanted to share a little bit about that story, because it just has it is one of those stories where anytime I feel betrayed, or anytime I feel why is this not happening for me, even though I know it's what I'm supposed to be doing and I'm giving it my all, it instills this faith and just re-inspires me to keep trusting God and keep trusting my talents and gifts and hard work. Okay, I'm talking to you out there. So even if you're not Christian, even if you've never heard the story, I want you to stay listening, because this is going to inspire you. This is going to inspire you. Okay, we start off every episode with a quote. I have two quotes. One of them is my favorite Bible verses ever, and it's from Genesis, from this story, Genesis 50:20. Okay, I'm reading on my little iPad, so I have notes, but 50:20 this is one of my favorite scriptures. You intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people. Genesis 50:20. How good was that verse? Okay, let's read it one more time. You intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people. Period. How good was that? Seriously. I just love that verse so much. And then I have another quote, because we start every episode of this podcast with a quote. This is by F. Scott Fitzgerald. For what it's worth, it's never too late to be whoever you want to be. I hope you live a life you're proud of. And if you find that you're not, I hope you have the strength to start over. Let's read it one more time together. For what it's worth, it's never too late to be whoever you want to be. I hope you live a life you're proud of. And if you find that you're not, I hope you have the strength to start over. I love quotes. I love inspirational quotes. And you know what? I used to feel kind of silly or embarrassed. Oh my gosh, I love having quotes everywhere. I have sticky notes, you guys. I have sticky notes on my mirror in my bathroom. I have sticky notes in my car. I have sticky notes next to my bed. I think it's important, because guess what? Whatever we are looking at is what we are taking in. And so I love making my iPhone background an inspirational quote. Okay, try it. It's kind of fun. And it just think about all of the times you look at your phone, and then every time you look at your phone, if you see something positive, it really does keep you motivated towards your goals. Anyways, okay, back into the podcast. I wanted to read, I got this from the internet. I want to read basically kind of a summary of the story of Joseph, since we're kind of using that to tie into what I'm going through. And when it feels like your goals are being delayed, but you have something, keep going, okay? So this is the story of Joseph, if you've never heard it. Joseph's story is found in the book of Genesis, chapters 37 through 50. He was the son of Jacob and was especially loved by his father, which created deep jealousy among his brothers. As a teenager, Joseph shared dreams he believed were from God that suggested he would one day rise to a position of authority. Instead of celebrating him, his brothers resented him even more. Eventually, they conspired against him, threw him into a pit, and sold him to traveling merchants who took him to Egypt as a slave. In Egypt, Joseph was purchased by an official named Potiphar. Even in slavery, Joseph worked faithfully and gained trust, eventually managing Potiphar's entire household. But his circumstances took another turn when he was falsely accused by Potiphar's wife and sent to prison. Once again, Joseph found himself in a place that looked nothing like the future he had dreamed about. While in prison, Joseph continued to live with integrity and began interpreting dreams for other prisoners. His ability to interpret dreams became known, but after helping one prisoner who was released, Joseph was forgotten and remained in prison for several more years. Later, Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt, had troubling dreams that no one could explain. Joseph was finally remembered and brought before Pharaoh. With God's help, Joseph interpreted the dreams as a warning of coming famine and advised Pharaoh on how to prepare. Impressed by his wisdom, Pharaoh placed Joseph in charge of overseeing the plan, effectively making him one of the most powerful leaders in Egypt. During the famine, people from many lands came to Egypt for food, including Joseph's own brothers, who did not recognize him. After testing their hearts and seeing their change, Joseph revealed his identity and forgave them. He understood that, despite their wrongdoing, God had been working through every hardship to position him to save lives. Near the end of the story, Joseph tells them, the verse that I read earlier, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good." Joseph's life becomes a picture of how seasons of betrayal, waiting, injustice, and obscurity can all be part of a larger purpose, one that often only makes sense in hindsight. It is such an inspiring story. It's just like, it's such a good story because how many times has it been that you see people around you or people that have done you wrong? I've had this happen to me where, sometimes it feels like all these people who are doing things like, not the evil way, but doing things in the wrong way and not being a good person are getting all their goals or getting all their success. And it can be really difficult because, you feel like, well, then why am I doing it this way? But I want to tell you that if you keep maintaining working hard, if you keep maintaining being a good soul and using all of the talents that you have, whether that be creative talents, maybe it's your gift of friendship, maybe it's the way you smile, maybe you have a gift of joy, even in normal circumstances or dark circumstances, you have this light, this gift, and when you smile, it actually changes people's lives. We have to keep doing that. And so I have like a couple points that I've written down from this story, and I don't know, it can be very difficult when you feel delayed. Like I often get so many comments from a lot of Kincadians being like, why aren't you famous yet? Or why isn't this song more streams? I ask myself that too. But in a sense, I always remind myself, you know what? No, I'm going to keep working diligently. If it impacts one person's life, then it is worth it. And so don't judge outside metrics on your purpose. Okay. Here are some points I've written down. So get out your notepad, get out your journal, or you can just watch this and then rewatch it and take notes later. But okay. Hidden seasons build what the public seasons revealed, if that makes sense. Like what you work on when nobody's watching is going to be your strength when it is revealed. Like think about, for example, like me. Okay. I like to use my life as an example because it's easy to understand, but I'm playing my debut full band show. I'm freaking out with excitement and I've been practicing every day and I'm so excited, but you can get tickets March 4th in Los Angeles at Gold Diggers. If you're not here, send it to a friend. We want the Kincadians to grow so I can tour and meet each and every single one of you guys. So March 4th, but every single day I've been rehearsing. Nobody has seen that, but I know that all of that work is going to pay off because when I do have my show, the public is going to see it. So every time I think like nobody's seeing this or like, why am I doing this? This is pointless. I remind myself, this is all going to pay off. Think about, you're going for your dream degree or you want to graduate with all A's. Like you're working so hard studying and no one's seeing you. Your teacher's not seeing you. You're not taking tests, but you're putting in those hours studying. It's going to pay off. But I just remind myself that, looking at Joseph, it's like when he was in prison, he was working on his gifts. So God had given him the gift of interpreting dreams. That was his talent, right? His talent was he was very prophetic of interpreting dreams. And so he didn't just waste that time when he was in prison, wrongly put in prison, mind you. He used that time to strengthen his gifts. He was helping out the other prisoners, interpreting their dreams. Was he getting a reward? No. Was he getting paid? Was he getting seen? No. But he was strengthening his gift. So look at it in terms of like, all of this time is just preparing you. And sometimes it feels like I'm just saying the same thing over and over again, but it's so true. And I think it's important because I'm reminding myself of this. Like, don't give up. You're so close to it. Like right when you feel like you're going to give up, that's the moment where you have to lock in and not give up. Because I'm telling you, like, huge things are going to happen for you. And our dreams are going to come true if we put in that work. No one saw all the times Joseph was practicing his gifts and his leadership and his faith to keep going, even though he was in prison for, I think it was something around 10 years, which is crazy. I might be wrong on that, but it was around 10 years. So, okay, in the delay of things, your character can be shapened. This ties in with point 1, but I think that there's certain times in my life where, even for example, I released my debut album Cinematic in October, which feels crazy to say. I'm working on a vinyl too, by the way. There's going to be 100 copies of the vinyl. It's exclusive limited edition pressing, 100 copies. So there's going to be a pre-save link, international and US. But I think about all of the years, like y'all know, because some of y'all have been with me from the start, from writing songs on this piano during TikTok Live. And I have been working for what feels like forever to make my debut album. And I think about, you know what, if I had the opportunity to make my album in 2022, maybe I wouldn't have all the songs. Maybe I wouldn't have the story. Like, I think about it and I'm like, you know what, even though I really wanted it to happen then, I'm actually so grateful for the delay, because not only did I have the materials, but it really shaped me. I was able to, you're able to grow. And all of these seasons, I think about it as like, it's giving me strengths. It's giving me preparation for goals. Like, we're going to be able to handle these amazing opportunities we have because our character has been developed. And I've learned discipline. I've learned, how to keep going even when I feel defeated, even when I feel rejected, even when something happens to me, I'm able to keep going and keep persevering. And so it's like the first 2 points we talked about, the hidden seasons, that's where the important work is done. But also too, in the hidden seasons and the quote unquote delays, I call them like delays because it's not really a delay. It's like a detour for a reason, but also like our character is being built and we're being shaped into like better leaders, you and me. Everybody watching this podcast, and I like to say like Kincadians are the leaders of their communities. I like to say like my goal with music is just to like make one person feel inspired and less alone, and show them that they can go after their dreams no matter like what they have. It doesn't matter. All of the things that you try to hide, all of your uniquenesses, all of the things you're embarrassed about, those are actually your strengths. Those are actually what make you so special, because you're able to show people that you can overcome those things and that you can actually make life better for yourself and for others. So yeah, we're all leaders here. Okay, another point I have is responsibility. Ordinary things you do in life are actually training you. I have this, okay, people disagree with me on this, but I've actually made podcast episodes, I think in season 1, so you should go check that out. But in season 1, I always say this, and it's how you do anything is how you do everything / most things. Obviously there's exceptions. Everyone likes to bring up the exceptions. Okay, we're talking about the rule here. But how you do anything is how you do everything most times. And I think that all of these responsibilities, some normal things, maybe it's like, oh, I really wanted this dream to happen. I really wanted to get this job, but I didn't get it. So now I'm going to just have to work a normal job and then I'll apply again next year. Or I really wanted to get into this special program. I didn't get in. I'm going to have to work a normal job. I really wanted to go on tour and get signed to a label and be able to like make music and travel. I didn't get it. I'm going to keep working these jobs and just keep putting out music. In the normal responsibilities of life, we're actually going to get so much training done. And I think about this a lot. Like, for example, me being an independent artist still, which is a great thing. And even if I did get a record label contract, that doesn't mean I would sign it. But still, being an independent artist and basically working with the budget of all the money that I make from streams, I just put in to make more music, basically. And doing that, I have a very limited budget, right? But in the ordinariness of that, I'm able to force myself to be creative. I have to like learn photography. I had to learn how to edit, you guys. All of my music videos, all of the lyric videos, I just play around with it. I use YouTube University, TikTok University, and it's given me all these skills. And I think about that, like all of these ordinary moments of life, think about all of the like amazing skills you've actually learned from it, whether that be customer service from working a waitress job. Like maybe you learn how to talk to people and you're not embarrassed anymore. You're learning all of these skills that are going to pay off, even if it doesn't seem like it in the moment. And so like during these seasons of delay, it's actually shaping us to be like seriously the best versions of ourselves ever. Also too, there's another point I want to make, and it's that, I guess this is like the 4th point. These are just kind of bullet points. They're not like exactly tips. I just kind of wanted to share the story mainly because I'm telling you, like I reread the story of Joseph probably what feels like once a month, because something will happen. And like, I highly encourage you to go read that story. You can even probably YouTube like story of Joseph in the Bible. And it like, you have to understand he was also betrayed by his brothers. He was betrayed by his brothers and sold. Like, think about all the layers and heartbreak attached to that. And God is still going to use him and shape him. And he ended up saving not only his whole country, but his family as well. It's just an amazing story and inspires me so much. So you have to go watch that. But another point I have is you're going to have seasons of what feels like delay, but you're actually building capacity. I think about it now. Like if I got the opportunity to go on tour now, I would 100% be ready. I would be mentally ready, able to handle it. I would be physically ready. I would have the band. I would have the songs, even practicing for this upcoming show. Get your tickets, link below. Yes, I'm going to keep shouting it out because I need to see you there. I'm going to try to record it too. And like, I'll post little clips and surprises because I just know like if I got asked to go on tour now, I would be ready physically, mentally, emotionally, able to handle it, spiritually. I have the merch designed, which is going to be up on my website soon, link below as well. But I feel like I'm ready to handle it. Like my capacity now is there versus even a year ago. Last summer, if I got asked to open for someone on tour, I'm going to be honest, I would probably not be ready because God has used this season to shape me. And so I want you to just like remember that you are actually growing. Like nothing is wasted in life. It's only wasted if you decide that it's wasted. You can overcome anything, and every single setback is not a setback. It's just how you view it. Every setback is a setup. And I know I sound so cheesy saying that, but it's true. It's true for a reason. And I hope that, this story really inspires you. I always say too, like, don't think of anything as like, why is this happening to me? Try to tell yourself, like, what am I being set up for? What is it called? Like it's that saying, every setback is a setup, but also too, it's like, you're not being punished, you're being positioned. I sound like a Pinterest board, but that's who I am, you guys. I can't hide it. This is real. This is me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be now. Gonna let the light shine on me. Now I know who I am. Okay. I think I messed up those lyrics, but Camp Rock, period. But yeah, seriously, think of everything in your life, every situation. You're there for a reason. And that's kind of, that's the story for today. That's the story for today. I just kind of wanted to share those points. And I've been thinking about this a lot in terms of my music because it does feel like I've been doing this forever. I was just like thinking about how I've been listening to LA Doesn't Miss Me a lot, which I've realized how special that EP is. And just going over it all, it's going to be 5 years old this summer, which is crazy because it feels like that was yesterday that EP was released. And I think of like all of the things that have happened in those 5 years, all of the things that I thought would have happened that didn't happen or haven't happened yet. And in the end, I just realized how like everything happened for a reason. Everything doesn't happen. I don't believe everything happens for a reason. I believe everything is used for a reason. If you can choose to see the purpose in it and you ask God to help you use it, it will be used for a reason. And so I just hope this episode inspired you and gave you a little bit of comfort and wisdom. Research the story of Joseph if you haven't. Listen to this episode again, but know that all of these situations and everything going on in your life, it's not saying no to your dreams. Just because you didn't get that internship, just because you didn't get that deal that you really wanted, that job you really wanted, maybe it's like you thought you were going to marry the guy and you didn't. And just so you know, that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen for you. Like I say in my song Lesson to Leave, rejection is protection. There's a reason for this. So sit down, take some time, read the story of Joseph anytime you feel discouraged. I'm telling you, like I could not even explain the stories that in my life that have aligned to that and how it has helped me so much. But you know what? This season is for a reason. You are learning. You're going to be ready. God's crafting you and preparing you to use your gifts and talents to inspire people in this next season of life. And I'm glad that we could discuss this. This is like a deep kind of rambly episode, but I really wanted to share that story with you guys because it's one of my favorites. And yeah, okay. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode. Make sure to subscribe. Leave 5 stars if you're on YouTube. Also leave a comment. I want to know your favorite part. I want to know if you've heard the story of Joseph. Let me know. I'm also bringing back my vlogging. I feel like a YouTuber. I am a YouTuber. We're YouTubing together. I'm bringing back my vlogs over on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube watching this, go watch the vlogs. If you're on Spotify, head to my YouTube. It's linked below. But I love you all so much, and I will see you in the next episode. To close off this episode, we have to do the affirmation we do every week from my 2nd grade teacher, passed down to me to share with y'all. And I just love it so much. So let's say it together. Today is a wonderful day. I'm confident because I'm a problem solver. I always have options because I choose to be optimistic. Today I will learn something new, laugh, and make a difference in someone else's life. I love y'all, and I will see you next week.